Okay, let's talk European stuff because I've been a Porsche nut for years, and I'm sure that there's got to be somebody else out there who is too. My daily has a Porsche designed motor under the hood. Heck, even one of our cats is named after the brand. So about 20 years ago, when I learned that Porsche built tractors in the 50s and 60s, well, that just made them about the coolest company in the world to me. So I started to do some research on them. So the idea started in the 1930s when Ferdinand Porsche designed the Volksschlepper, which is the people's tractor. And he designed it right alongside the Volkswagen Beetle. But World War II kind of put everybody's plans on hold, and after the war, Porsche had the designs, but they didn't have the right, due to some Allied restrictions, to build them. So he licensed the engines to Allgaier in Germany, and that kind of kept the dream alive, and they used them in some of their designs. But by 56, Allgaier wanted out, and a company called Mannesmann wanted in. So they teamed up with Porsche, and they launched a new company called Porsche Diesel. They retooled an old blimp factory in the town of Friedrichshafen and started cranking out juniors, standards, supers, and masters, the four models. And they ranged in horsepower from about 14 to about 50. And between 1957 and 1963, they rolled out about 120,000 of them. And I think maybe 1,000 or so shipped to North America. They tried selling them here. But by 1963, margins were really tight. Competition was really fierce. And Porsche had kind of come to grips with the idea that they couldn't win in the North American market. So they pulled the plug. They set up a parts deal with Renault in France to provide parts support with what was left, and then put all their efforts into the cars that I've kind of become hopelessly in love with. The best seller was probably the Junior, which was the slowest one ever, but probably one of the coolest ones. Today, nicely restored ones bring a fortune here in the States. I just saw a Junior sell about 3 weeks ago for $32,000. Pretty good money for what's basically a single-cylinder, air-cooled garden tractor that makes 14 horse and goes like 12 miles an hour. So the guys who want them most are the hardcore Porsche guys who want something cool to park next to their 911s. And these guys get pretty serious about them, too. There's a big Porsche gathering at Laguna Seca in California every other year. It's called Rennsport Reunion. And they have a full-blown tractor race there, complete with a Le Mans-style start and everything. Le Mans-style starts is where everybody lines up on one side of the track and they sprint across to the other side, jump in their tractor, put on their helmet and speed off like a herd of turtles. Pretty neat to watch. Anyway, if you want more detail on Porsche tractors, hit the link in the description for a deep dive article I wrote on these things about, 3-4 weeks ago. Otherwise, that's the brain dump on one of the more unique tractor brands from across the pond. Thanks for watching.